communication students. This is TV Escuela of DepEd Davao de Oro, where education continues in your respective television. Welcome back to Grade 11 Oral Communication class. I am Teacher Christle Adlaon Casador from Laak National High School, Laak South District, your oral communication teacher. Most of our young people today have this starter pack expression. For example, for girls, they say, "This is my makeup kit." Most of us today say, we have our home quarantine starter pack. Most students say, "Wow, we have our online class starter pack." What do they mean? They are considered essentials. They are important tools. In speech, we also have essentials in speech preparation. What are the essentials in speech writing preparation? How long is speech writing preparation? Let's dive into this topic. These are the objectives of our lesson. At the end of our lesson, students are expected to determine the principles of effective speech writing, analyze the importance of audience profile, logical organization, duration and physical setting, word choice, and grammatical correctness in writing a speech. Apply the principles of speech delivery. Writing a speech is the most crucial thing to do. The beauty of your speech performance depends upon how you will write well your speech. That's why you need to know some essentials in speech writing preparation. Here are some principles for effective speech writing preparation. They are audience profile, organizational pattern, duration and physical setting, word choice, grammatical correctness. We'll try to go to each one of these, starting with audience profile. This answers the question, who are your audience? Some of my students ask me why most of my examples are about boyfriend-girlfriend, being heartbroken, and talking about crush. Do you want to know? Because I know that my audience are teenagers like you. Meaning, in your speech preparation, you should know your audience, their gender, their educational level, their religion, their culture, their geographic uniqueness, or even group affiliation. Because the more you know the demographic profile of your audience, the more your speech become more interesting. Here are some questions you can ask yourself to help you craft your speech. First, which group do they belong to? Does your audience belong to a specific group? Example of groups would be organizations like political parties, college students, sports fans, parents, teachers, students, and others. Another question you may ask is this: which cultures and languages do they identify with? If you are talking to a particular cultural group, be careful not to use certain slang or figure of speech that they may not understand. Also, be careful that you don't include something that could possibly offend an audience from a different culture. Let's have more questions that pertain to the psychological makeup of your audience. What do they know about your subject? It is important to know if your audience is familiar with your subject or not, so that you would know what and how to deliver your message. Next, what do they know about you? Consider what they know about you so that you can build rapport with your audience. And another question is, what are their attitudes and values? Does this particular audience share a particular set of attitudes or values? Be sensitive to these attitudes and values to avoid alienating your audience. These are your guiding questions in determining the profile of your audience. The second principle is logical organization. Gathering materials for speech is not difficult, but how to organize your speech is more challenging. The written speech has 3 parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. The introduction is the most crucial part of the speech. It is generally only 10 to 15% of the time the speaker spends speaking. According to Wrench of 2012, a good introduction serves 5 functions. 1. You should be able to gain audience attention and interest. 2. It states the purpose of your speech. 3. It establishes your credibility. 4. It should provide reasons for your audience to listen. And 5. Your introduction should preview the main idea of your speech. The body of the speech is the core part of the speech that addresses the main ideas and principles of the speech. It consists of the main points. There are 5 organizational patterns that can be used when developing a speech or presentation that you'll deliver to a group of people to give the speech structure and flow. We have 1. Logical or typical pattern. 2. Chronological or time sequence pattern. 3. Spatial or geographical pattern. 4. Causal or cause and effect pattern. And 5. Problem solution pattern. Let's dive deeper to each one of them. First, logical or typical pattern. It is used when you are giving a speech or presentation that contains several ideas that are interrelated in such a way that one flows naturally to the next. As the name implies, you'll be organizing the information in a logical manner according to topic. Example, the importance of promoting reduce, reuse, and recycle program. Next, chronological or time sequence pattern. When an information in a speech follows a chronological sequence, then the information should likewise be organized chronologically. This organizational pattern typically used in any speech addressing subject from a historical perspective. For example, the significant development of the province of Davao de Oro from its conception period to the present. Third organizational pattern is spatial or geographical pattern. If you wish to evoke an image of something that has various parts, and those parts are distinguished by geography, then organize your speech using a spatial pattern. Spatial pattern is suited for speeches about a country or a city or even a building or organization. Example, traveling around the wonders of Batanes Islands. The fourth one is comparison and contrast order. It presents comparison and contrast of 2 or 3 points. That is why using Venn diagram in our classes are common. Example, comparison between living in the city and the life in the province. The fifth is causal or cause and effect pattern. Another way of organizing a speech and a particular topic is to look at the subject in terms of cause and effect. Example, the COVID-19 pandemic. And finally, we have the problem-solution pattern. The problem-solution organizational pattern is similar to the cause and effect pattern, but it's typically used when the speaker is trying to persuade the audience to take a particular viewpoint. In essence, the speaker introduces a problem and then outlines how this problem can be solved. Example, eliminating COVID-19 cases in Davao de Oro. After writing the body of your speech, following the methods of organization, the last thing that you need to work on is how to end it. The conclusion functions as a summarizer of the entire speech. The conclusion has to be written using different strategies according to Tandok of 2016. First, present a summary. Second, repeat the key ideas presented. Third, repeat the central idea for emphasis. Fourth, go back to the strategy used in the introduction. Fifth, signal the end of your speech. Sixth, end with an impact through thought-provoking questions, humor, quotation, a call for action, a connection to a larger context. The third principle of effective speech writing is duration and physical setting. Here are some questions you may want to ask yourself. How long will your speech be? Another question is, what is the occasion? The reason for the event will tell you the tone of your speech. Next, how large is your audience? You have to adjust your approach when you are with a small group and when you are speaking in front of hundreds or even thousands of people. And also ask, when is your speech be? Is your speech early in the morning or late at night? Both pose more of a challenge to keep your audience awake than a speech performed in the middle of the day. No matter how long the speech is, always divide it into 5 parts. An introduction, the body point 1, the body point 2, the body point 3, and a conclusion. This format is adaptable to a speech of almost any length. By doing this, you can actually monitor the time and the length of your speech, or the so-called duration. Most experts say that the ideal length of speech is up to 20 minutes. Fourth principle to consider in speech writing is word choice. What is your audience educational level? If you speak above the level of understanding of your audience, you will not only risk them not understanding what you're talking about, you also alienate your audience. Thus, speak the language your audience can understand. As much as possible, don't use fillers because these expressions make the speaker's viewpoint weak and unemphatic. The following words should be avoided in written speech. First, jargons or technical terms specific only for a group of people. Second, redundancy or excessive repetition of words. Third, language inappropriate for the audience. Fourth, language inappropriate for the occasion. Fifth principle is all about grammatical correctness. Using correct grammar when you give a speech is important to prevent misunderstanding and misinterpretation between you and the audience. Good command of the language helps listeners understand you quickly. Grammar inconsistencies slow down the communication process and generate negative impressions for the audience as your ideas and thoughts are not clear and coherently conveyed. Audience profile, organizational pattern, duration and physical setting, word choice, and grammatical correctness. Consider all of this when crafting your speech. Good luck in becoming a very good speaker. Once again, I am your oral communication teacher, Christle Marie Adlaon Casador of Laak National High School, Laak, South District, saying, dito sa TV Eskwela, sa pag-aaral, sama-sama. Bye-bye!